I want to... Hello? Would you like to hear about bundles, sir? You would? Awesome. Hello, everybody. Prow here. We're on the Minecraft Bedrock Guide 1.21 world in our trade post area that we've been building up recently and done some episodes on trading. You see the librarians in there hopping around. And I have a crazy important episode for you. We are going to go over one of the most useful items ever to be added into the game of Minecraft, to the point where everyone should have at least one, if not more, of these items on them 100% of the time. And honestly, you're insane if you don't. And if you don't agree with me now, I promise you by the end of this episode you will. And that item is the bundle. The bundle just hit experimental mode in full Minecraft Bedrock Edition, so you can enable the experiment on your Minecraft Bedrock Edition world right now. I'm going to talk about a reason maybe not to do that here in just a moment. But regardless, the bundle is pretty close to full releasing into the game. First thing I'm going to tell you guys, this is kind of like a warning. I would not enable the experiment for bundles yet. And when I say the experiment for bundles, when you look at your world settings, you can do this from the world creation menu. Go to edit your world. You're going to see this section right here for experiments. You can click the bundles button. It'll make a copy of your world, and that copy of your world will have bundles enabled. It doesn't do anything else. It just adds bundles in your world. And generally something that this small is going to be pretty safe. But here's the problem. It's an experiment, so bugs could exist in the game. And bugs do exist. Blue Jay was playing with the bundles yesterday, and he says that when he logged out and logged back in, everything in his bundle was gone. So I wouldn't use the experiment yet, but everything that we're going to talk about with bundles today is going to be true as of the launch of bundles, which I suspect is going to come pretty soon. Hopefully we see it in the next few weeks, just a guess, but we're incredibly close, so it's going to be awesome. Anyways, let's talk about first, how do you craft a bundle? How do you make one? Well, they're incredibly cheap. One leather, one string, you get a bundle. That's it. Now, also, you can dye bundles, but not in the experimental mode that I'm in right now. It is available to do in the current Minecraft Java snapshots, the current Minecraft Bedrock preview. You can use a piece of dye in here with the bundle and dye it. They look really cool. But anyways, that's how you make a bundle. Let's have a little conversation about how do you use the bundle and just what are they useful for? Why do I want a bundle? Before we continue, a message from today's sponsor, whose computer chairs I highly recommend, eWin. So I first partnered with eWin in mid-2023, where I built and used one of their Champion Series gaming chairs. And I've now been using the same chair, which by my live streams is known as Chairzard, for over 15 months now. And I've been so incredibly happy with it that I decided to reach out to them again. On top of being a great chair to sit in, it's also actually incredibly easy to build. They come mostly pre-assembled, and you'll also notice that while you're building your chair, the chair is pretty heavy. You can tell it's made out of sturdy, high-quality materials, and with now thousands of hours in the chair that I'm sitting in currently, I can comfortably say that the quality of materials shows in its durability and lack of any visible wear and tear, and you can adjust practically everything with these chairs. The Champion Series allows you to do the normal up and down adjustment. You can tilt the seat backwards and forwards. You can recline the seat all the way back, and the arms will go up and down, in and out, side to side, forward and backwards. They even do this like twisting in and out. There's like a full range of options to get it to be comfortable for you and customize the way that fits your seating position and your preference the best. To start shopping for your eWin gaming chair, click on my link in the description below and browse through the Champion Series chairs to pick the style and color that you like the most, or use the menus at the top of the page to browse through their other products that they have available. Once you find your new chair and add it to your cart, use discount code PROW8413 that will get you 20% off of your purchase and enjoy your new comfortable gaming chair. They're useful for a lot of different things, and we're going to go over all of those things here in detail in just a little bit. And like I said, some of these things I'm going to show you, you're going to be like, oh my God, why didn't I think about that? And by the end of this, you're going to think bundles are the best thing since sliced bread. But first, I think it's better to show you how bundles work. What do they do and what do they not do? So a bundle can be used to hold items, right? Now, a bundle can only hold one stack of items, but it can be any mixture of a stack that you want to. For example, I could put 32 paper and 32 arrows inside of a bundle. But if I had something that only stacks to 16, like ender pearls, well then each one ender pearl I put in the bundle would count as 4 slots. Because ender pearls only stack to 16, that's 1/4 of 64, a full like regular size stack. So when you put something like that in the bundle, it takes 4 slots. Also, something that is not stackable, like say a bow or a tool or something like that, that is not stackable. This takes up the same amount of space in your inventory as a full 64 stack of paper, right? So you can only put 1 shovel inside of a bundle. So it's not for carrying a whole bunch of tools. And a lot of people hear stuff like that and they think, okay, well, this thing doesn't sound very useful to me. I promise you I'm going to change your mind here in a little bit. But let's talk about how to use it first. Keep in mind here that I play with inverted mouse buttons. My left click is place blocks, my right click is attack or like use tools and stuff. So maybe when I'm talking about the clicks that I'm using on my mouse, maybe it's the other for you. I'm not sure if the menus are different. Also, if you're playing on console or mobile phone, obviously your buttons to do this are going to be different, but all of the functionality is the same. It's all going to work the same way. So if I want to put some paper in a bundle, I'm just going to click on the paper, click on the bundle, it puts it in. I'm going to click on the arrows, click on the bundle, it puts it in. And you can see that when it's full, it says full. And you can see that when I hover over the bundle, it shows the 2 items that are inside of the bundle. Pretty cool, right? I have a couple different ways that I can empty things out of the bundle. I can just hold it in my hand and click, and it just throws it up all over the ground. So that's a way if you want to just quick empty your bundle out, you could do it that way, right? You could put items in your bundle another way too. So I could fill my inventory with a whole bunch of little like odds and ends like this. And I could do like I did before where I click the item and click it on the bundle, or I can pick up the bundle and click on the item. I could say, I want to put these seeds in here. I want to put this in here, this in here, this in here. And I can click on these different things to get rid of them out of my inventory, add them in. And once it fills up, you can see it filled up and it couldn't take anything else. And I can see all these different items in here. Now, how do you get the things out? Well, there's a couple different ways. You can right click it and it will take whatever's the first item in the top left-hand corner. It'll take that out. Okay. So that's way number 1. Way number 2 on the PC anyways, I don't know how you do this on console, but there'll be a way to do it, is I can scroll my mouse wheel and it'll show me the item that I have selected. You can see a little preview of it inside of the bundle itself. That's kind of cool. And it highlights it on the screen. So let's say I want to take out this lever. I can scroll to the lever. I can right click for me on my mouse button and it takes out the lever. So I can select what things I take out of the bundle. Now there is one limitation that I don't like that hopefully Mojang upgrades or fixes. If I click this bundle, I'm going to put all of these single items in here. There's a lot. And we're going to start with this dark oak trapdoor. I'm going to go ahead and click, and I'm going to add all of these things in, right? A lot of different things. And I can add them all in. I could put 64 individual items in here if I want to. But do you see what the screen shows? It shows the first like 3 rows of items, and then it says +9, telling me there's more items here that I can't get to. It does kind of suck a little bit. You could eventually like work your way to them by emptying stuff out and then looking in it. But it is one limitation about the bundle that I'm not super happy with, but it should also be one that's maybe easy to fix. I think if I was Mojang, I would just make it to where when I have all of these individual things inside of my bundle and I'm scrolling through, just let it scroll down to the items that are further down would be pretty nice. Also, just to kind of show you one more time, I told you non-stackable items, only one item can fit. So like if I put this like bed in here, for example, now the bundle's full. It can only hold one of a non-stackable item. That's another limitation. I'm fine with it for reasons I'll go over a little bit later. The bundle's not intended to be a shulker box that you could put like a ton of stuff in. It serves a very different purpose in the game. It does what it's intended to do better than what a shulker box could do trying to do the same thing. I want to show you a couple of other limitations with the bundle too that people have asked me a lot about, and I want to clear the air for these things. So if I place down the stone brick and then I take my bundle and I put these other 9 stone bricks inside of it and I try to use pick block to pull a stone brick from my inventory, it doesn't work. Also, the bundle is not a quiver. I cannot take this bundle, put an arrow inside of it, and then use my bow. It's not a quiver, guys. So you still have to have a slot for arrows, meaning that yes, you should still use a mending bow because 64 arrows takes up the same amount of space as one. And yes, I do still have 2 months to go on this stupid infinity bow that I have to use. It makes me very upset. All right, so here is the part where I convince you that you will want to carry a bundle with you 100% of the time for every situation. And a little bit later, I'm going to also convince you that you're probably also going to have a number of situational bundles set up. So I have some amazing things in my inventory here, and I'm going to walk through them because this is maybe the biggest point of this whole video is I want you guys to understand the importance. So I have an assortment of things here that are things that would be nice to have on you fairly readily accessible at all times. Okay. So in my bundle, I could put a crafting table because no explanation needed. You always need a crafting table. You need to always have one with you no matter what you're doing in Minecraft. So crafting table goes in the bundle. That's one slot that we just saved. Also, you're going to need an ender chest. Yes, this is definitely 100% an ender chest. Everybody always carries an ender chest with them. Once you get to the nether to where you can craft one of these guys, you're going to have one with you at all times. Your ender chest goes in your bundle. You just saved 2 slots there. Really, you've saved 1 because the bundle takes 1 slot. We just saved 1 slot so far. Your stone cutter. How many times have you been in a situation where you need to make something and you don't have your stone cutter readily available? Me, it happens a lot. We're gonna put the stone cutter in here. That's 2 slots that we've saved. And before, I know a lot of you guys are thinking this right now, well, Prowl, I can just put all that stuff in my ender chest and I can put it in shulker boxes. Like, you're not giving me anything new. Okay, I am giving you something new, because some of these things you're going to use frequently enough or maybe infrequently enough to where you're not going to want to go into your inventory, take out your ender chest, put your ender chest down, go into your ender chest, look through the shulker boxes, take the shulker box out, place down the shulker box, go into the shulker box, get your item or items, take them out, put them in your inventory, break the shulker box, put it in your inventory, open the ender chest, put the shulker box back in, break the ender chest, put it back in your inventory. That's a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps when you consider that I could just hover over my bundle, scroll my mouse wheel, right click the mouse and pull out my crafting table, my ender chest, whatever. It's literally game changing. Okay, let's continue on. Iron blocks. What are some common things you might use iron blocks for? A water bucket, flint and steel. You can use the iron from it to make shears. So if we put this and this in here, we now have ourselves a flint and steel, shears, and 1 or more water buckets right here, plus other things you might use the iron for as well. But those are 3 of the primary things. Okay, so we're now saving what, like 5 or 6 inventory slots so far. You guys see, I'm not going to be able to keep track in my head. We got logs. What are logs useful for? Well, a lot of different things. Logs are great for making sticks. They're used in many different crafting recipes. Maybe you need to craft a chest. Maybe you need to make a tool. Maybe you need to make a bed. Maybe you need to make torches. So many different things that logs are useful for. So we could go to our bundle. We could put in our logs, our wool, and our blocks, 8 blocks of coal. Now we have furnace supplies for smelting. We have supplies to make torches if we don't want any in our inventory or we run out. We now have a bed with us that we can craft in case we forget to bring a bed. We have a lot of different things right here inside of our 1 slot for our bundle. But that's not all. How many times have you been somewhere and you've gone kind of far away and you've thought, you know what? It'd be really nice to just make a nether portal to lead me to this area. Maybe you go to a stronghold, maybe you go to some faraway biome, and you didn't think about the fact that, man, some obsidian would be nice. Or maybe you go to the nether and you forgot to bring some obsidian and you want to set up a portal, right? This happens very frequently. Well, now you can take your obsidian, you can throw it in your bundle. And then there's a few other niche-like things that you may want as well that I think are probably worth having all the time. Emerald blocks. Why emerald blocks, Prowl? Well, You ever come across a wandering trader and then decide, hey, let me just look and see what he has, and then he has a block that you don't have yet, and you're thinking, yeah, I kind of like to have a few of those. Well, you never normally have emeralds on you, but now you have them with you all the time. Carry some amount of emerald blocks with you. Also, you may want to carry a diamond block with you. And yes, this is definitely a diamond block in my inventory right now. Maybe you needed a hoe and you forgot to bring one or something like that, right? Well, you might have that in your ender chest. That's fine. Maybe you don't need the diamond block, but not a bad thing to consider bringing. What about a gold block? You ran to the nether, or you're about to go into the nether, and you're thinking, oh man, there's going to be piglins, and I forgot to bring my gold helmet to keep the piglins from attacking me. Or maybe you forgot gold for making rails, or maybe you're just exploring and you run across some carrots and you're like, hey, I could make some golden carrots here really quick. Bring a gold block. Redstone, well, that's going to be maybe a little bit more niche, but I can think of a lot of different times where it'd be really nice to have a redstone block here. Here's one that I think is a really big deal that me and Stream Chat were talking about that they sold me on. So you have your main base here, right? And in your main base, I'm going to recommend that you set up a lodestone. We'll go over those a little bit later, but if you make a lodestone, you can click a compass on it, and that compass will always take you to that lodestone. How many times have you personally been out exploring and you forget how to get back to your base? Then you have to go like look up the coordinates that you wrote down somewhere or explore around until you find it. Well, no more do you have to do that. Set up a lodestone, click the compass on the lodestone, and it will become linked to that lodestone, and it will always lead you back to it. One caveat here, a compass linked to a lodestone is not stackable, so it would not be a candidate to go in your bundle, but it will be when that preview/beta hits. So absolutely amazing. I think that's something you're going to want to have on you all of the time. So we'll put a compass in there, and then an anvil is usually nice to have. Whenever I need one, I never have it with me, so I have to go find one or craft one. So go ahead and throw an anvil in there too for various needs that you may have, renaming items or whatever the case may be. And now we've fit some crazy number of items inside of our bundle that we can now go through and pull out on a whim whenever we need to by just scrolling to the item, and I can right click and pull it out. I think everybody can agree that a good portion of those things would be nice to have in your inventory at all times, and a lot more convenient to get to via your bundle rather than having to go into an ender chest, into a shulker box, and go through that whole thing. But I have a lot more things to bring up to you if you're not sold yet, of why you're going to want to use bundles all the time and to make some situational bundles. As far as having like other things you may want to commonly carry in your bundles with you, I just wanted to give you a few ideas to think of. So inside your bundle, you could keep a furnace, blast furnace, or smoker. We already mentioned 3 wool plus 3 planks will allow you to make a bed. You could carry 15 bookshelves plus an enchanting table plus some lapis and some books to have a like enchanting on the go setup. A composter would be a good one to carry around, so you can compost things that you find as you're exploring around. Maps, leads, a cartography table. You could have a clock to have with you while you're in the caves to know if it's daytime or nighttime when you're looking to come back up and out. We already talked about a compass and a lodestone would be really nice to have. Logs we mentioned. Bone blocks to where maybe you're off somewhere and you'd like to bone meal something to get more of it to carry with you. Carrying extra chests with you could be a good idea. You could carry saplings plus a dirt block plus a bone block in case you need to have wood with you. You want to be able to make wood in case of an emergency. You could carry a moss block plus some bone blocks to be able to bone meal stone to get rid of really quickly. There's a lot of things that you could put inside of your carry all of the time bundle that would be useful to you without having to go through the process of getting out a shulker box, or for those of you that don't ever get shulker boxes. And this actually leads to a really good discussion I just had on live stream with people, because I know a very common argument that people are going to have is, but Prowl, why do I need bundles? I could just put all that stuff inside of a shulker box instead. But let me make a point here. So this is my first argument against that. I'm going to go over another one separately here a little bit. How in the heck is there a sheep up there that's doing a dance that he should not be doing? How did he get up there? Did he climb it? We have a tree sheep, everybody. You know what? I want that tree sheep to never go away. How do I make him stay? I think if we put a lead on him and then take it off, I think he will be persistent. He will not despawn. I don't have any wheat close by. Oh, no, tree sheep, don't fall down. Tree sheep, don't go anywhere. You will forever live inside of that tree. Tree sheep. His name is just literally going to be Tree Sheep. Oh. Oh my God. Tree Sheep. Where are you? Is he gone? Oh, no. Tree Sheep. I think Tree Sheep despawned or fell. Oh, Tree Sheep. Tree Sheep is now Roof Sheep. Okay, well, your name is still going to be Tree Sheep. We'll get you back up in the tree eventually, my friend. I'm so happy Tree Sheep is still here. Okay, I've brought myself to a testing world just to make a point of some like bundle combos, some pre-made bundles that would honestly be pretty nice for you to consider making. Obviously, there's going to be tons of different combos that you can think of. I'm kind of curious what combos you guys have in mind. If you have some in mind, drop them down in the comments below. But here's some that I came up with that I think are going to be pretty useful overall. So we have one right here. This is your enchanting combo. I could put an enchanting table, bookshelves, lapis, maybe a few books, and a grindstone to be able to enchant on the fly. We have the miscellaneous redstone components bundle. If you're doing some light redstone work, maybe instead of having to go into a shulker box and like dig stuff out, having stuff inside of a bundle would be easy to say, oh, okay, I need to use my comparators now. I'm going to pull my comparators out. Okay, I'm done with those. Now I need to use some repeaters. I'm going to pull my repeaters out. Now I'm done with those. It just makes it super easy to do it from your inventory. Or maybe you're going exploring a far ways off and you want to have some stuff to be able to take you to the nether really easily. You could bring some obsidian, an iron block, and a piece of flint, or maybe some fire charges instead if you want to go that route, and a gold block to be able to make a nether portal, travel in the nether, wear something that's gold when you're moving so piglins don't attack you, make another nether portal. This gives you options to do that. Probably be pretty decent to have for general exploring. Next is going to be a fun one of mine, which is here's your iron golem kit, some iron blocks and some carved pumpkin heads. We literally have 16 iron golems inside of this bundle to carry around with us. Obviously you wouldn't have to do 16. Maybe you have a bundle that you have other stuff in, and having the ability to build 1 or 2 iron golems for some various reason to protect you or whatever could be kind of nice. So that's something else to be really fun to keep inside of a bundle as well. And then we have honestly the big one, and I think this one's amazing. Unfortunately, we all know that potions don't stack, and since potions don't stack, I really don't ever use them. I don't know about you guys. I very rarely use potions because they're very inconvenient. So now imagine for a second, you're going caving and you want the ability to make night vision potions on the fly. It'd probably be pretty nice to be able to do. Well, you can have your bundle with you. You can take out your brewing stand, place that down, take a water bucket, which you're normally going to have with you, place the water down on the ground like this. Let's take out all of our other ingredients. I'm going to place my brewing stand down. I'm going to take my bottles, so my glass bottles out. I'm in creative mode right now, so that's kind of messing up the whole process. Let me change myself. I could go ahead and get 3 water bottles from that. I could throw those water bottles back in. I can then pick that water back up for later use. And now I can start brewing. Go ahead and throw in 1 blaze powder and a nether wart, a golden carrot, and then now a redstone dust to make those night vision potions 8 minutes instead of 3 minutes. And there we go. I now have 3 potions of night vision that I can use. I could take my bundle back. I could pick up my brewing stand and all of my supplies I had, throw my water bucket right here. And now I have 3 potions of night vision, or whatever other potion you want that to be to use. So 1 bundle is able to make 15 batches of potions, meaning 1 bundle is effectively holding 45 potions for you. This is like a couple hours worth of night vision potions just from carrying a bundle. You could also do this same thing with pretty much any other potion in the game. And if you don't want to carry a water bucket, you could also carry ice, right? That'll give you a water source. And then go ahead and make your batch of 3 potions. Once you've drank all 3 potions, you can take those bottles and put them back in the bundle. They'll fit back in there perfectly. And then as you're moving around, traveling around, doing different things, you can go back in and then bring out your next ice block for your next batch of potions and not even have to have a water source available. The only place this really doesn't work well is the nether, because you can't place down water in the nether to fill up your water bottles, and water bottles do not stack. So if you're going in the nether and you need potions, you're probably best off still using a shulker box in that case. But I definitely think 100% for using potions in the overworld, this is nice, easy, and convenient. And I think this is going to make me personally use potions more often. So hopefully by this point, I've already convinced you that it's worth it to have a bundle on you at all times for essential things that you commonly use. And then it's worth it to make some situational bundles that you may use for different things you're doing. I want to show you a more practical and common use in the end game. And I'm really focusing on this like mid to end game use, because I think everybody generally sees the value in bundles in the early game, right? You first start the game, make a bundle because you end up with like 5 of this and 2 of that and 6 of this and 3 of that. So having bundles to manage your inventory could be very useful in the early game. I think everybody knows that. But this is where I think it ultimately is going to be even more useful for you long term in your world, is really when you're doing any kind of project, to be honest. So for example, we built this big house right here. If you're building a house, a farm, something redstone, one thing that you always end up with is an inventory to kind of look something like this. You have a lot of building blocks that you're using, because the less time you can spend going back and forth between your chest monster or your shulker boxes and the build, the better. Problem is, there's not enough space in your inventory to do this. So what I find myself in is a situation like this, where we're working on a build, right? Maybe we're like up here doing stuff. We're on top of the build, and I don't have enough space in my inventory for these birch blocks or these oak blocks that I'm using as detail, or these granite blocks that I have up here. So I might leave them out altogether, or I might have to go back and swap out from materials for the base of the build to materials for this roof to materials for this roof to detailing materials. And basically the end result is you just end up doing a lot of back and forth, right? But imagine instead, when you're doing a build, all of your stuff that you need in bulk, you have in bulk in your inventory, and all the stuff you don't need as much of, you have in here, right? So like, for example, when I'm up here building and doing other things, I can also scroll through and grab out my flower pots and place those down, throw those back in. Maybe I need to use some cherry leaves or whatever the case may be. My point being, instead of having to make a lot more trips to and from where you have all of your storage, your shulker boxes, your chest monster like I have back there, whatever it may be, for all of those things where you have like 3 of a stair and 4 of a slab and a couple lanterns, a few pieces of colored glass, you have a couple leaves for bushes, like you have all of these things that you have like, I don't know, say 12 or 16 or less of, rather than having those things clog up your inventory and you have to frequently go back and forth to your chest. Put them inside of a bundle instead, and then cycle through things inside of your bundle. It's going to make life a whole lot easier. So same thing goes for a build like this. We made a honey farm, right? I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel, you guys like to make farms. Well, this farm took a lot of different blocks to build, right? We got hoppers and chests and wool and building blocks and all sorts of redstone components, etc., on and on and on. And just like anything else, your inventory gets full with a bunch of stuff. But imagine instead, when you come to tackle a build like this, you know that there's some things you don't need as much of as others. I think I have like 8 observers in the build. Put it in a bundle. We have 8 dispensers in the build. Put them in the bundle. We have, I think, 8 comparators in the build. Put them in your bundle. I probably have a lot of repeaters, maybe 40 something. Don't put those in your bundle. Leave those in your inventory, maybe until you have a lower amount. Or redstone torches. We probably have like 16 of those. Put them in your bundle, right? So then when you're going through doing your build and you're placing blocks and you're doing things, instead of having all of those 4 here, 8 there, 12 there things scattered throughout your whole inventory, taking up maybe anywhere from 6 to 10 item slots, instead put all those things in your bundle, grab them out when you need them. Just, you know, take them, just like if this arrow was one of those things, just go ahead and pull it out, put it in the slot when you're placing the comparator down. Okay, let me pull out my comparator. I put it on my hotbar that right down there. I place it down, and then once I'm done with my comparators, if I have left over, I'll put them back into the bundle. And then that way, you're going to give yourself a ton more inventory slots you didn't otherwise have available, and you're going to have to spend less time coming back over here to maybe where you have your redstone shulker box or your chest full of supplies to grab those supplies, go back and forth and back and forth.
6.5 hours later.
Those types of things, they're annoying to do and they waste a lot of time. So rather than doing those things, prepare your build a little bit early on with the bundle, get your supplies that you need, leave the room for the big things in your inventory, keep all the small things in a bundle or maybe even a couple of bundles. And then one last one that I'm going to touch on as we finish up here is adventuring and exploring. So yes, when you get into the late game and you're adventuring / exploring, you're going to have an ender chest. You're going to have shulker boxes. At least a lot of you are. Not everybody gets those things. So this is maybe more for the people that do get those things. When we go somewhere like, say, the Nether, and we're doing a lot of stuff and we're coming across different biomes that maybe we haven't gone to yet, and we want a little bit of this and a little bit of that as we're exploring around. Maybe this is happening in the end. Maybe it's just happening in the overworld. You go to a swamp that has stuff, whatever. You've all been there. You go exploring, you go a far distance for something. You don't have enough room in your inventory to keep and hold everything. Well, obviously, if it's something that you're going to get in bulk, you're going to use a shulker box for that. If I need to go get 20 stacks of sand, the bundle does nothing for me. I'm going to use a shulker box for that. But if I'm going exploring to get some new things, like I need to get one of every type of flower to make dyes, or one of every type of sapling to be able to plant those trees, and maybe along the way you come across a sunken ship that has some treasure in it, and you kill a mob and get some gunpowder. You don't have that farm, like whatever, right? Having a couple bundles in your inventory will allow you, anytime you go adventuring for anything, to be able to take those one-offs and just throw them in a bundle. Being able to do everything from one screen is just a lot quicker and more efficient. You're going to be able to much more efficiently utilize the space that you have available in your inventory with the bundle to get rid of those one-off scenarios of a few different items, or to plan better for your builds that you do with those items you don't have a lot of. There's really a lot of places for the bundle to fit in with every single Minecraft player. And hopefully throughout this video, I've convinced you that the bundle has a use for you, and that you now decide to use the bundle, because I'm very happy with it. I like it. And the whole reason I wanted to make this episode was because I don't feel like a lot of people thought about all these things. So just something, get your mind churning a little bit, and let me know down in the comment section below, what are you going to be using the bundle for? I appreciate you watching today's episode. Hopefully you found it informative and useful. If you did, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next Bedrock guide, because we got to go over everything to do with nether portals. See you guys later. I'm so happy Tree Sheep is still here.